where we'll quickly learn about the concept of freedom of speech and expression and why it has been in the news. If you guys are actually following the general news as well, you guys might be aware about the protest by the 4 Indian Youth Congress workers at the Artificial Intelligence Impact Summit at the Bharat Mandapam, which has transcended the ambit of legitimate dissent and hurt the country's diplomatic image before the foreign stakeholders. And that is the viewpoint which has been held by the Delhi's court, as it remanded the workers to 5 days of police custody. This comes just a day after this, the Indian Youth Congress workers. They were actually arrested for allegedly breaching the security at the venue and raising anti-national slogans, according to the police. Does such protest, or let's say for example kind of protesting the the initiatives of the government, does it form the part of freedom of speech and expression? The answer is yes. So you guys can refer to the article 19, which actually provides you the protection of 6 rights: the right to freedom of speech and expression, the right to actually assemble peaceably and without arms, the right to form associations or unions or cooperative societies, or the right to actually move freely throughout the territory. And if you are moving, obviously you can actually have the right to reside and settle in any part of India, and also the right to practice any profession or carry any occupation, trade or business. Similarly, keep this in mind that in S. Rangarajan versus P. Jagjeevan Ram 1989, the Supreme Court specifically held that freedom of expression cannot be suppressed on the account of threat or violence, right? So it is indeed a very important right. The article says that how every citizen has the right to express his views, opinions and beliefs by the word of mouth, writing, printing or in any other matter. Supreme Court in your Ramesh Thapar versus State of Madras 1950 has also held that basically this freedom of speech and expression, where you can actually, let's say for example, even if you have a dissent against any policy of the government, you can actually go and criticize the government. Thus, it basically forms a foundation for all the democratic organization. Why? Because democracy is basically the will of the people. And how we will actually know that whether we are adhering to the will of the people? Only if we can actually get to listen to them, right? Thus, the Supreme Court over various judgments like for example S. Rangarajan or for example Ramesh Thapar has expanded the meaning of freedom of speech and expression to, it also includes right to propagate one's view as well as others, the freedom of press, how the government cannot have a monopoly on the electronic media, the freedom of commercial advertisements, the right against phone tapping, or the right to know about the government activities, which actually gave birth to the Right to Information Act of 2005, or even the right to demonstration as it was being done by the Youth Congress worker. But keep this in mind that there are also certain reasonable restrictions which can be applied by the government. First, if you are actually impacting the sovereignty and the integrity of the India. Do our country need a very strong opposition? Yes, indeed, to actually keep the government and the people in the power in the check. But at the same point of time, you need to make sure, or you need to decide the ground, that at what ground you are going to criticize the government. If it is within the parliament, if it is in the front of the media, the answer is completely yes. But if it is in the front of the people of other nations, then there can be certain restrictions which can be adhered to. So for example, if I have to criticize my brother for some wrongdoing, I would surely do that, but within the ambit of my house and not in the front of some very bad chachi of my neighborhood. Correct? Other restrictions are there: security of state, friendly relations with foreign state, public order, decency or morality, the contempt of court, the defamation which has been applied on Rahul Gandhi. Very recently he is going to the court for this also, and the incitement to an offense. So keep this article very dear to you. A possible question can come on this, and we move forward to the next news.